Good morning. Today is Saturday, August 22nd, and we'll be looking at the 15th chapter of the Gospel of John. The 15th and 16th chapter, much like the 14th, and leading into part of the beginning of the 17th, is Jesus' excursus on imparting his love and his feelings towards his disciples, describing who he is, and leaving them with a message of hope and a message that can lead them into ministry after he's gone. So anticipating his death, resurrection, and then ascension. So he starts out by comparing himself to a vine. He says that he's the true vine. I am the vine and you are the branches. It's another one of those I am statements. And so he describes for them life on the vine. And key in that description is his verse 13. John chapter 15, verse 13, which says, no one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Other translations say no greater love has this than that one who would lay down his life for his friends. And so he's talking about what it means to be in that life on the vine. That you are an extension of my ministry here. So I'm here with you now, representing God, creator of the universe and everything that is. And you will, the things I've taught you, the way I've lived and the things that I've done and what I've said and also what I've exemplified for you is what I want you to carry on with into the future. And he also says a few verses later that you did not choose me, but I chose you. And to me, that changes the dynamic with us to some degree. We feel like this is a lifestyle that we adopt, that we wear a little Christian badge. I am this, I am that. And really, the reality is, and we know this in our lives, in our own personal walks and journeys, that it seems like we've been chosen for such a time as this, or to be led through a wilderness, or to be called up for a mission or a ministry. We were chosen. It was not us choosing this life. We had to say yes to it. But I really think that doesn't get said enough in Christian circles, that Jesus said to us, you didn't choose me, I chose you. And when he's talking to his disciples, that's the truth. He says, come and follow me to them. And he still says that to us today. And so he says to them later on in the chapter, if the world hates you, it hated me before it hated you. So that the trials and the persecution that we go through in life are part of what Jesus went through. Now, some of us go through way more trials and persecutions than others. And what I think about is how this chapter specifically, the words that he shares about being hated by the world and despised by the world and rejected by the world, but yet stepping in line with his Father, who he always refers to, says Father, but who is the creator of the universe, who is the one who designed our bodies, the world, the plants, the trees, photosynthesis, all these amazing things. The idea that life can exist on our planet is so far beyond our own scientists to be able to figure out. Something like you roll a trillion-sided die and it lands on the one number, and here we have life on Earth. So Jesus is talking about being despised by the systems that exist for him. And so I can imagine that, for example, the Black church in America interpreting these scriptures and seeing how the experience of African Americans that, in this country with prejudice and racism and systemic racism and veiled threats and everything from being stopped by the police and all these racially motivated negative things can say that in the faith tradition, which is strong, this is what Jesus says to you. Listen, the world may act this way towards you, but you belong to me. I chose you. And to say that it's not okay that the world feels like this about you. It's not. It's not okay that the world feels like this about me. Jesus says this. It's not okay. So you need to be against injustice. But to be able to internalize that message in a community, to say this is our message for such a time as this, walking through this path. The world may hate you and despise you. And this is also a lesson for not just a community, but an individual, like a teenager that feels lost and alone, or somebody that has just gone through a massive grief in their life. The world, it may seem like the world is all against you. The world despises you. But remember, the world despised me first. So take heart and know that you belong with me. You belong here. And that it's not okay that the world despises you. They hated me without cause. And that's on them. And Jesus sort of drops the mic with that. They hated me without cause. And you, he says to his beloved disciples, who he loved while he's with them, you have been with me from the beginning. No greater love has this than one who would lay his life down for his friends. And he's not just saying, well, that's great for me. He's saying that's kind of what I'm asking you to do too. When you see things in the world that just ain't right, do something about it. If needs be, lay your body on the line to protect the bodies of others. And this is just the theology that comes out in the Gospel of John, from 14, where he's about to leave them, to 15, where he talks about life on the vine, and you are the branches, and the love that it exists when someone is sacrificially loving you. And the way that you need to understand this hatred that the world has for you, that I dealt with it first. We shouldn't just deal with it and live with it. We should fight against it. But that it unites us all in the cause for something greater, something better, and a world that we could live in a better place. So 16 has the same kind of theme, and we'll look at that tomorrow. Have a beautiful day.